What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here for episode 3 of the Instagram Unpopular Opinions. Slav and John, yet again.
Still good? Still good, Slav? How you doing, man?
Yeah, good. Long time no see.
Oh, did you get some new t-shirt?
Yeah, well, you look different today.
Let's get straight into it. The first one is from Tottenham_Ultras, and he says Aurier is...
Kingsley.
He says Aurier is far better than Trippier.
Yes, agree. You know, I like Aurier. Yeah, he's got brain farts all day, every day, and he's an absolute clown. However, we were talking about this the other day. Most tackles and most interceptions this season, Serge for Tottenham.
A lot of assists as well.
Only Trent has more assists than him from a defense. Only Trent has more assists from as a defender. Sorry, than Serge. Serge has got his final ball's not great all the time, but I think he's actually a good right back. He's the captain of Ivory Coast. He's made a name for him at PSG. He's a good right back, and I think he just needs a bit of competition. I think he was actually better. Do you remember when it would be Trippier would play every game, and then Aurier would play the Champions League games and the big games? And I thought in those games he was always brilliant. He'd always come in and usually have a good game. And I know he gives away penalties and he gives away sloppy mistakes, but most of the time it's because he's either not concentrating or because, well, I don't really know why.
He's a better right wing back than right full back.
He is. Yeah. He's strong as well. He's got good feet.
Yeah. I always preferred him to Trippier for the bigger games.
Can score a goal.
Yeah.
Loves to pop up with a goal.
He's got a great finish on him at times.
I think he's a good right. I honestly think he's a good right back, and it's a shame he's
not a great defender though. That's
no, and it's a shame he makes so many. But neither is Trent Alexander-Arnold. I know he's the best left back in the league, maybe even in Europe right now. But defensively, he's not great. Trent, he's probably their weakest link across the back
defensively,
four.
yeah.
With Aurier, your heart's always in your mouth when he's like close to a player in the box.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It is.
And he should just stand them up a little bit more.
That's why people say look, Trent can play as a right winger, centre midfielder, as a cam. Serge Aurier can play as a right back, as a right winger, maybe not as a cam, but defensively, neither of them are great great defending right backs. But going forward, they're great, and I think Aurier actually defensively he's great. You sometimes will put in a really, really good tackle, like a goal-saving tackle. So.
And that kind of brings us on to the next one, which is also on Serge Aurier, and it's from I Am Jack Organ, and is Serge Aurier on his day can be as good as Trent, which is pretty much what you've been saying.
On his day, yeah, he's a great right back, and we've seen some of his first-time deliveries onto Dele and Kane's head.
I think saying he could be as good as Trent's a bit deluded, probably.
Yeah, but the goal, I mean, if you think the goals against Olympiacos he scored...
yeah, but Trent does it consistently, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Trent's on another level. Trent's outrageously good. Yeah. He's a ridiculous right back, and he's 20, 21? Or on his day, he can be a great right back and a great option to have.
You know, I mean, the thing about Serge is a couple of years ago, you know, because we were so good, I was looking at Serge thinking he was a little bit of a weak link. But because we're not looking so strong anymore, we've dropped down the league a little bit more. Now he's looking actually like more of a key player.
I want to ask you
since Jose's come in, he's definitely improved.
Do you guys think if we had a DM, would Serge look better?
I think he would.
I think you're right.
Because if you look at when we had Wanyama and we had Walker and Rose, they were so protected. By Moura.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe potentially Toby and Jan would look better as well.
Yeah. So maybe that's one way to look at it. I think people maybe look at it with one eye instead.
Yeah.
I think that's the missing keystone, you know, like position for us.
I'd love to see us with a proper DM to see what we look like.
But also like a baller in that position, not just like an enforcer type, like a Wanyama. Yeah. I want to see someone with the Wanyama breaking up, but also with an Ndombele a pass in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that there's many of these. You're asking for too much there.
All right, let's move on. And this is from Tabor Carl, and he says short hair Bale was one of the best wingers of all time. And I completely agree with that. 100%.
Winger or in that 12-13 season?
Well, he says when Bale had short hair, so...
Because when he was banging in all those goals in that 12-13 season, he tucked in just behind the two strikers, and so that's what AVB was doing. He just went, we're just going to stick him as close to the goal as possible.
The Bale under Redknapp.
I think he's talking about the one under Redknapp when he had him and Okoto on the left wing tugging that touchline.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was
I think Bale under Redknapp and then Bale under AVB. He's so good at football.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
I mean, he really took off in that 12-13 season, banging in all those goals. 26 goals.
Sky did you see Sky made a show just for like they did I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a half an hour show. Bale's Tottenham goals.
Oh, really? I never saw that. I'd love to see that.
Unbelievable footballer.
But in one of the last...
happening to him.
Yeah, in one of the last episodes, we spoke about David Gindler, about how whenever he got the ball in our own half, people used to stand up. Yeah. And I think it was exactly the same for Gareth Bale under Redknapp.
Yeah, those two players, I would say. And also in that 12-13 season, his dead ball technique improved.
Oh,
like his free kicks improved. Big time. Before he was he was doing the classic like curl free kicks before that, and then in that
he moved to a Ronaldo
season,
style.
He went to the sort of like like kind of there's a name to that technique, knuckleball, and he was really bang on with those. You know what I mean? He was hitting the target with nearly all of those free kicks.
It was also he wasn't like a small nippy winger. He was big. He was 6 foot, 6'1", good in the air, strong athlete.
Yeah, he became an athlete.
Powerful.
Yeah, and he put on a lot of muscle, which is something I'd like Lamella to do, like see what Bale's done and really bulk up and really become an athlete. You know what I mean?
I'd love him to come back.
All right,
even now.
Just stare. Imagine Bale, Kane, Sonny,
Bergwijn.
But hang on, do you think he's the best winger in the Premiership of all time?
No, not of all time.
Who's better?
Ronaldo.
Okay, left wing.
Eden Hazard.
No, I think Bale's better than Hazard.
Wow. Hazard did it 6 seasons in a row.
Did he? No, I disagree.
Other than that one season where he didn't score.
Hazard, his numbers.
Won the league. Come on.
Yeah, but that's a club thing. But if you're talking about individual performances, Hazard should have done a lot more for the ability he has. I think Hazard was actually a letdown in the Premier League for the actual ability that he has. And I think if you look at his numbers, they were nowhere near as good as Bale's were.
There's loads of players you can argue. Thierry Henry played it as a left winger for some part of his career at Arsenal.
Not really. He came in as a left winger, but they moved him to striker shortly after.
He is one of the top 2, 3. It's
hard.
But
if you're going to compare Bale to Hazard, I'll pick Bale every time.
Most of Hazard's goals and was always when he came in central anyway. If you think about it, he wasn't like your classic hub. I
think Hazard only had like 1 or 2 seasons where he was doing it week in, week out, every single game, and I think the other seasons he would have games where he would be absolutely jaw-dropping to watch, but he didn't do it on a consistent level enough, I don't think.
Maybe then, maybe. But actually, Sadio Mane.
Yeah.
He's a left winger.
Could you say he's better than Bale? It's hard. It's very hard.
Nearly had him as well.
He came to the training ground.
Thanks, Levy.
Yeah.
So I do love Sadio Mane, though, I have to say. He's unbelievable.
Yeah. He's definitely the best winger in the league at the moment. That's for sure. Let's move on to Kieran95. We're going to start off with you, John, on this one.
Kieran Knightley.
Yeah, that's it. In order to win a trophy, we need new owners.
Yep, I think so. I just want to say, Levy, thank you for the shiny new stadium. It's the best stadium maybe in the world, I think, in my opinion. But done all that. Thank you very much. Thanks for the cheese room. But I
didn't
think
get it in the end.
I know we didn't.
You couldn't even give us a cheese room.
Yeah. But I think perfect time now to hand over the baton to a chairman who really wants to see this team win trophies now. I think now's the perfect time to do the handover.
I agree.
I don't know why we're even discussing it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. But it's opinion as well.
But what do you think, though, generally? What's your...
It depends what is it. I mean, if we sell to multi-billionaires who are going to pump money into the club like they do at the Etihad and like they do at Chelsea and everywhere else that's PSG, then definitely. But if we're just going to replace Levy with another Levy...
Mike Ashley,
Yeah. No, obviously...
You've got to be careful with who you bring in. Yeah. They've obviously got to be someone that are going to really invest to the levels of the top clubs.
But I just think it's so irrelevant because Levy is a Tottenham fan from around the corner. He's not going anywhere, unfortunately. He's got all the money in the world.
Yeah, but he has also come out and said we're just custodians of this club and we're going to hand it over at some point. So
we'll see. I'd love for him to hand it over to a nice rich man who will, woman, whoever, anyone, just a rich person to go and spend £70 million.
Is Levy the problem or is Joe Lewis the problem?
Joe Lewis is more of the problem.
Joe Lewis is the multi-billionaire that doesn't put a penny into the club.
But then Levy still has, wiggle room to be able to do what he wants to do with the money and stuff like that, as long as he's hitting his remit.
Inducted into the rich list, Daniel Levy.
Yeah, so I think they both have to take responsibility. I don't understand why these people only blame.
Can you buy us a defensive midfielder, a world class one now, if you're in the rich list?
I forgot my point now.
Slav, you threw him off.
But no, thanks.
You were saying Joe Lewis.
Oh no, I was going to say. I think typical Levy. You know, he's got good foresight. And I think that he's going to work this. We've got this Amazon, connections with Amazon, and I think it'd be brilliant if we got let's say if we get the naming rights Amazon. It's not the best, but it's better than having I don't know, some kind of Arabic hieroglyphics, as our stadium name.
Exactly. We don't want no Fly Emirates.
The Sports Arena.
But I think if we built up that connection with Amazon, we've got Jeff Bezos to be chairman or something like that. You know what I mean? The richest man in the world. That would be pretty bloody good. So, but I'm hoping that Levy's got enough foresight to whoever he passes the baton to would be going up.
I'd love Jeff Bezos to be manager. We could buy Mane, Bale,
flatten the competition.
All these world-class players. We could buy all of them.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. And this is
on Amazon.
Yeah.
This is from Brooklyn Dennis, and he says Lucas Moura is overrated, and just for what he did in Amsterdam. I mean, we had a similar one to last video, so we'll just move past that one. Next one is Kubitu, and he says, as much as I love Jan Vertonghen, I don't think it would be a good decision to give him a new contract, as he is just too old and would become deadwood.
I have something to say to that. Watch our Jan Vertonghen debate.
Yeah.
So?
Yeah, he's just, when he came off and he started crying, I think he knew that his time was up. Yeah, and I think he's now just running the clock down, basically.
Go get his coaching badges.
Go and do coach badges, come back
as a coach and a manager.
Yeah, I think so. But, but he's still going to do, if we need him, he's still going to be a filler job. He's still going to do a filler job if we need him.
He can still go to Ajax and have 3-4 years starting for them.
Probably,
watch the Jan Vertonghen debate.
Yeah, we'll put that in the link in the description below. Next one is Will Bowden. Harry Winks is quality and should be the first name on the team sheet.
The first name? That is unpopular. And I have to say deluded, to be honest with you. Sorry, mate. But first name on the team. That is a troll comment. It's got to be a troll comment. I'm sorry.
Right, Arsenal at home today. Harry Kane. No, hang on a minute.
Harry Winks. Give him the captain's armband as well while you're at it. Why not?
Do we want to John, do we want to go into another Harry Winks?
Do we have to go into this again?
No, let's move on. Let's move on. Mr. A. Jones, bring back Harry Redknapp.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
I've actually... you're not going to like...
Only if he brings Crouchy and Defoe with him.
And Cranshaw. Go on.
I think... If you notice, this same thing happens with England.
John's going to say an unpopular opinion.
This is an unpopular opinion. Even when you look at the England managers, there's always this dovetailing. You sort of get this England salt of the earth, Harry Redknapp type. What was that movie called with the Jim Royal as manager, whatever it's called? That manager?
England manager, Mike Bassett.
You always get this kind of Mike Bassett style English manager that comes in. That fails. Then they always get this sort of continental, seemingly wise old tactician to come in. That fails. Then they always dovetail back into the England style salt of the earth manager. We tend to do that a little bit at Spurs as well. Yeah. So we go from sort of your Hoddles, and then we go into the Santinis, and then we sort of and then the Ramoses, these continental managers. Then we go back into the salt of the earth, Harry Redknapp, put the arm around the shoulder, and we kind of go through this kind of contrasting dovetailing.
And there was Ramos and Tim Sherwood.
Yeah, and I think that Jose's the continental style tactician, and I think if or when this doesn't work,
coming next.
It's going to be. You're probably going to see the move dovetailing into sort of.
So we're getting Eddie Howe next.
Yeah, it's going to be. You'll probably see that type of manager come in next, and I actually think that don't be surprised if you see a Harry Redknapp style manager coming in if Jose or whenever he leaves will come in.
The opinion was bring back Harry Redknapp, and I think the answer is just no.
Well.
But if any of you have been watching Harry's Heroes, he's a good manager.
He didn't win anything either with us.
That's true. He was the one that got Champions League football.
He's the one that had Bale and had Defoe and.
He was massively limited tactically, Harry Redknapp, but he was able to get everyone players playing to their.
Going for the England job ultimately screwed him at Spurs. That's what was the nail in the coffin for him, I thought. But anyway, let's move on. Chewy_13. We should sell Ali soon, or he'll start to lose value quickly. It won't be as good of a player for us in the future.
I think he'll lose value. You've seen the market these days.
Well. With coronavirus, you don't know what's going on.
He's only,
in the market.
23? How old is he now? 24?
Oh, he must be older than that. Let's have a look. How old's Dele Alli?
He's about 25 now. Is he 25 again?
He is
24.
24. Just turned 24.
So he should be really in his peak of his powers, coming into it. Yeah, coming into mid-20s.
No, I don't think we should sell him.
I don't think so.
Because we sell him somewhere and he'll come back and he'll score a brace and we'll all be like, never should have sold him.
Yeah.
Look at Arsenal and Gnabry and It'll be a situation like that.
I agree. I don't think we should sell him.
No, it's difficult to know because we're going through a transition at the moment. We're at the new part of a new cycle, so we need to see how that all pans out.
Going forward, I mean, other than maybe Lamella or a couple of dead weight, there's no one going forward we need to get rid of. We've got a great future of attacking players.
Yeah.
We need to sort out the defence.
All right. Ollie Dean says Eriksen should be considered as a Spurs legend. He was our most important player under Pochettino.
Yeah, we didn't win anything under Pochettino. So,
well, that's not the... Well...
How can you be given legendary status with nothing to show for it?
Well, people consider Van der Vaart a legend, Bale a legend, Modric a legend. None of them won anything.
These players are great players that once played for Spurs.
Is Harry Kane Harry Kane's not a legend yet?
Can't say Harry, because we didn't sign him from anywhere else. All these other players we signed from somewhere else. Harry Kane came through at Tottenham. I mean, who did you just list? Van der Vaart, we signed for £8 million and stayed for 2 seasons. Bale, we signed from Southampton. Modric, we signed from Zagreb and went on.
What does it matter who we signed them from if they're considered legends
as stepping stones? So why are they legends?
But they wouldn't have used us as stepping
stones. I hate when
winning.
Van der Vaart didn't use us as a stepping stone.
Okay, but I hate when people. I hate when people call Dimitar Berbatov a legend. He's not a legend. He doesn't care about Tottenham. He left on deadline day and couldn't wait to get out.
Again, the term legend, similar to our conversation about world class, it's used too loosely, this term legend. And I think what you're saying is pretty spot on. A club legend, what does that actually mean?
Yeah. It's one of those, it's like a broad term. Right?
For me, to be a club legend, you can win those trophies and be a club legend. Because if you come through the club and you score and you become the...
Who is a club legend for
Jermaine
you?
Defoe. All-time, is he still an all-time European? Or he was
No, Kane is now.
At the time, was our all-time European goal scorer.
So give me 3 club legends.
Jermaine Defoe. Oh, really? But the thing is, I'm going to give you legends from like my generation. I'm a lot younger.
Yeah, that's fine.
Doesn't matter.
Jermaine Defoe.
Robbie Keane.
Yeah, I get.
But he went to Liverpool.
I was about to say Ledley King.
Hang on, but Robbie Keane.
I didn't say Robbie Keane. He did.
But you not. I just went. Okay, so go on. Give me an example of legends.
Michael Dawson.
Right.
Ledley King. Jermaine Defoe, just off the top
Let's be honest, if Ledley King stayed injury-free, he would have probably left as well if we weren't winning things. We have to be kind of honest about this.
I have no idea.
You know, we have to... And also, Michael Dawson... I mean, I can see what you're saying. You mean loyalty's like the biggest thing.
If my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle. Like, I don't know.
But I think Michael Dawson, club legend...
I said to you, players from
I think
my generation.
Dawson was a very good, loyal player for us, but I don't think you can put him in the legendary status. Ledley King for sure.
Yeah, he is now Ledley King. Yeah.
Jermaine Defoe,
He
you
went to Portsmouth.
He was our all-time. But they're not our.
He was sitting on the bench for most of his time with Redknapp. You know.
But he scored 200.
Great player.
He scored about 140 goals.
The word legend is very hard to see what it actually is.
If
Harry Kane stays at Tottenham and doesn't go to a Man United, if he goes to a Real Madrid, I mean, maybe we can still say. But right now, I'd say Harry Kane's a Spurs legend just because he came through at Tottenham and is the all-time Tottenham.
So Gazza's not a legend.
It's before my time. I never got to see Gazza play properly. I've seen
videos
of his goals and whatnot, but I never got to see like little clips that they make of the players now.
I think the term legend, what it means as football fans, I think obviously the word legend, means different in football than outside of football. And I think the term that we use legendary for is a player. I think it's a personal thing, to be honest. And I think it's how much affinity you kind of had with that player.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I see it.
I don't really think it's a fact this player's a legend or this player's not a legend. I think it's all a personal thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, I still think Teddy Sheringham's a legend, and he went to Man United. And
he played for West Ham.
And he went to West Ham, yeah. But, you know, I think, you know, to these top real superstar players, you know, if we're not winning anything, they are going to want to win trophies.
Next, you're going to tell me William Gallas is a legend.
Yeah, but let's look at players like Graham Roberts and Mickey Hazard. People call them legends. They went to play for Chelsea.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
It's difficult. We need trophies to have this conversation.
All right, let's move on.
I can't remember what the question was.
That was Eriksen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Should Eriksen be considered a legend?
No, Eriksen's not a legend.
I don't think... For me,
no. Didn't win any trophies. Couldn't wait to get out of the club.
I think he went missing as well for strings of games.
He was our most important player under Pochettino.
No,
but I do see him...
Attacking-wise, he was.
Harry Kane was.
I think when Eriksen...
What if we had Soldado for those 5 years?
Yes, but also when Eriksen didn't play, our attacking play didn't tick.
I do see him
Actually,
when
Moussa Dembele was almost.
we had a real formula going. With Dembele, if you take Dembele out, we looked like it was like taking out the keystone of the bridge. If you take Eriksen out, he was almost like the metronome, the pulse in the team. Then you had Harry Kane was like putting the finishing touches to. If you took any one of those out, we all kind of like looked.
Yeah,
weak,
it's like taking a piece of a puzzle out of a jigsaw.
Yeah, so you can't really say it just about Eriksen, but I can see that he when the whole team was firing,
he was an important
in the
player.
machine. He was an important cog in that.
Definitely in the top 3 or 4 for 100%.
He was an important player for Spurs over a sustained period of time, but he's not a club legend.
All right, let's move on to Brad Dolagan, and this is just simply sell Harry Kane.
Oh wow!
Well,
really?
Yeah,
it's been good.
And actually, there's another one similar from Gazij. I can't pronounce it. It says sell Harry Kane to avoid another Eriksen. Won't he fiasco.
I've actually. People are going to hate me in the comments.
I'm literally on the edge of my seat.
I don't take the populist opinion on this, right? It's like, do you remember when Van Nistelrooy was still pretty much in his peak, in his pomp, and Fergie sold him? Do you remember? And he sold him to Real Madrid, right? He was still a quality striker. He wouldn't have ended up at Real Madrid, right? But when Van Nistelrooy left, suddenly the team could rebuild with a new kind of philosophy, a new formula, with Rooney playing more of an active part. You know what I mean?
We don't have a Wayne Rooney.
Hang on, but I'm saying that what happens is because Kane is so established in the team and everything kind of goes through him, he's like the focal point. It does. I have noticed that the other players almost play more of a peripheral part, and people like Son don't shine as much. I know I've used that pump before. So I actually think it may be, and also this is not just from perspective of Spurs. I do want to see Kane win some trophies. Do you know what I mean? And if you can't do that with us, I do actually would like to see him go and win some trophies elsewhere, because I don't want to see his career. Can you imagine if Kane went the whole career without winning a League Cup? Like, that's not fair on him. That's not fair on him. I think he's done brilliant service for us, but I think it's a little bit selfish from Spurs fans saying, can we just have you till you're 35, please? We might not win a trophy, but I still want you. It's like, no, I'm saying thank you, Kane. And I think, as a Spurs fan, I want to see you flourish. I want to see you
I don't have any personal affiliation to him. I want to keep him. It's like...
Really?
Yeah, I'm not going to get a win. If he goes and wins the Champions League with Real Madrid, I don't get a winner's medal.
But I don't want to say... But
I don't care.
Well, I actually do. I think it would be a total travesty if he went his whole career without winning a trophy.
I personally couldn't care less if he won a trophy with another club.
Yeah, I don't support another club.
But it's...
If he was to leave...
if he's going to go, here, Sam, honestly, mate, I don't want this. You can have it. Like,
if he was to leave Spurs tomorrow and he goes and wins a trophy next year, you wouldn't care about Harry Kane after he left Spurs.
But I think he deserves it, is what I'm saying. He deserves
Probably does deserve it, but he deserves to win it at Spurs.
Yeah, but my thing is I'm concerned about where we're going as a club, and I think he's going to see that. And Sheringham recently came out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
See that?
Yeah.
And he was saying, "Look, you've only got one career." And I'm just taking off my Spurs goggles for the minute, with loyalty and all that, And I'm just thinking, from his perspective, I would totally understand if he left to win trophies, especially at he's 26 now. You know what I mean? I think he's. Maybe he's...
No, I'd understand if he left. I think you'd understand if he left, but we wouldn't care if he went. If he wants to leave, look, fair enough.
Because I really didn't. When Sheringham in the round 96, 97, where the team was just absolutely bombing, and he was like playing in that team. Like, I was just looking at, I was like cringing and thinking, Sheringham.
It's a bit different though, to now.
And it is a little bit different. But I'm just thinking, and also I can see.
Yeah, but it's not that with 25 years on, where the club is in a completely different space to what it was then.
Of course it is. But I'm just saying, I had a similar feeling when Sheringham in that Taylor.
Also, sell Harry Kane. How much? Nowadays, who can actually afford him?
We would get about 250 million from him as well.
But who's going to pay that right now?
And who's going to pay that? Look, I think we just have to look. We're going to keep him, and I don't want him to go anywhere else. And Spurs goggles off. Okay, look. If in 2.5 years' time we've still not won anything, fair enough. I'll understand if he goes. Look,
we said that 2.5 years ago.
Look, can you go to Real Madrid?
I just don't see Kane playing with the same smile on his face as he used to. When he used to score, he was Klinsmann dive, smiling. Now all he does is that. Do you know what I mean? I can see that
he's also a lot older now.
He's not enjoying it as much anymore.
But I think his stature at the football club is completely different now.
When he was scoring goals in 2015, then
he was a young player coming.
Yeah, I understand. He's taken on the captain's role, and
now he's got kids. You also got to remember his family are probably very happy living in North London with the rest of his family, and There's so many factors that come into it. I wouldn't sell Harry Kane, and if in 3 years' time he wants to leave, I go fair enough. But I would not celebrate his achievements.
I think if we don't win something,
I'm not celebrating it. I'm just saying he deserves to have some,
success.
Harry, don't leave.
Let's move on to Tom B. This is the last one of the whole Instagram unpopular opinions, and this is.
Tell me it's so Harry Kane again.
No, it's not. It's about Heung-min Son,
Ooh.
and it's Heung-min Son is the best all-round winger in the Premier League.
Him and Sadio Mane together, yeah, because they both left foot, right foot. John.
Well, one thing I've really liked about Sully, no one's really talked about. When he first came through, he was still quite dynamic. He had a lot of good movement, but his finishing was absolutely atrocious. I don't know if you remember that, but his finishing was dreadful. And then suddenly in the last couple of seasons, his finishing has just been absolutely prime. Like that Man City semi-final, the Champions League. You know what I mean? Just pinpoint. His finishing has become brilliant, and that was the thing that was missing about his game. So he's really come on leaps and bounds. Yeah. No one's really mentioned that, but that's something that I've noticed with Sonny. One thing I would say though, he's a little bit like Kane. He needs to get his head up a little bit more in the penalty area and see players around him. Kane as well, they're both a little bit too selfish in the area. I know that's a sign of a good striker, but that part of them, they never feed off each other. They never quite lay it off to each other, That's one thing I'd like to change about Sonny's game.
Sonny.
But yeah, he's fantastic.
I think we're very lucky to have him.
We are very lucky to have him, and I think the only winger that's better than him in the Premier League is Mane.
I think they're on par with each other. I think the system Liverpool plays suits Mane very much. And I think in a different system, would he look so good? Maybe, but they're both brilliant. It's sort of like
if Son was at Liverpool and Mane was at us, we'd probably be saying the other way around.
They're just as those two are a level apart from the next wingers.
Could have had both.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
John, it's all right. We got Ng and Kudu. Stop complaining.
There you have it. That is the Instagram unpopular opinions. Like, subscribe, and comment below. And as always, come on, you Spurs.